Causes of the American Revolution. Before the American Revolutionary War, the original 13 states of the United States of America were colonies of Great Britain. Great Britain was a monarchy, and that is, it was ruled by a king or queen. Great Britain was also at the head of an empire called the British Empire. That was similar to the ancient Roman Empire. An empire is a group of nations, territories, or people ruled by a single authority. The 13 American colonies were part of the British Empire and were ruled by the King of England and the British Parliament located far away across the Atlantic Ocean. The royal governor of each colony was appointed by the king and was loyal to the king. The governor did not represent the colonists. Remember, too, that in the 1600s, when the colonies were originally founded, some of the colonies belonged to other countries. For example, New York was first settled by the Dutch, and the city of New York was called Amsterdam. New Amsterdam. The Dutch brought in settlers from Germany, Ireland, and France. Great Britain took the colony with warships in 1664 and named it New York. So, all the colonists in North America were not necessarily loyal British subjects. Before the Revolutionary War, the French and Indian War was fought between Great Britain and France for control over lands in North America, especially lands west of the existing British colonies. This conflict lasted from 1754 until 1763. This war between two major European powers caused the 7 Years' War in Europe. And during this time of wars, it was in the best interest of the British Empire to defend the colonies. After the wars ended, Britain had gained control over most of North America east of the Mississippi River. Britain had invested heavily in defending the colonies and now wanted to show authority over them by imposing heavy taxes or making them pay a lot of money. As a result, the colonists formed what were called committees of correspondence. These led to the establishment of provincial congresses in the colonies, their first independent governments. These provincial governments of the 13 colonies joined together in the First Continental Congress in 1774. In response, the British government sent troops, dissolved the local governments, meant they did away with them, and enacted more taxes and rules. The first skirmishes of the Revolutionary War began in 1775, and the Declaration of Independence was then written in 1776. Now you're going to answer some text-dependent questions based on the document that you just read. Number 1 says, before the American Revolution, Great Britain was A, a monarchy, B, a democracy, C, an oligarchy, or D, a republic. Number 2, the New York colony was originally settled by who? A, the British, B, the Dutch, C, both A and B above, or D, none of the above. All right, number 3. The French and Indian War was fought A, between French soldiers and Indian warriors, B, French soldiers and Dutch soldiers, C, in Europe, or D, none of the above. Number 4. After the 7 Years' War ended, A, France still owed Canada, B, Britain controlled the lands east of the Mississippi River, C, both A and B above, or D, none of the above. Number 5. A main cause of the American Revolution was A, Britain took control of New Amsterdam, B, France gained control of lands east of the Mississippi River, C, Great Britain imposed heavy taxes on the colonies, or D, the colonists lost the French and Indian War. Number 6. The First Continental Congress. A was formed by Great Britain. B was endorsed by Great Britain. C included British royal governors, or D, none of the above. That concludes the questions for this assignment. Boys and girls, I want you to always be cognizant that good readers read and reread. And it's okay to do that. I would also suggest that you, again, in your reading journal, or your social studies journal, I should say, jot down your responses to these. Don't necessarily record the questions and the answer choices. Just record your answer choices along with the paragraph numbers to help you justify your answer choices. So when you move on from that question, you can confidently walk away from it knowing that you have justification for your answers. And Ms. Johnson will see you on the other side.